Good morning, everyone. So now this is our fourth lecture on chapter 1. In last lecture, we have covered the last topic, transaction. It was monetary transaction and non-monetary transaction. Now let's focus on chapter 1.7, capital and drawing. Okay. So now what is capital? The total amount invested into business by the owner is called capital. Okay. The excess of asset over the liability is also called as capital. It's a net capital. Okay. The equation for this is capital is equal to asset minus liability, which is basically the whatever remains from the asset after paying the liability belongs to the owners. Okay. Capital is a liability of business as this amount is payable by the business enterprises to the owner at the time of closure of the business. We have seen that the business entity is separate from the owners. Okay, so whatever business liabilities are there are restricted towards the business only, not on the owners. Okay, so it is specifically here, they specifically mentioned that after paying the liability of the business, whatever remain is it is basically the owner's portion. Okay, so capital is a simple word. Your investment in any business. If you open any business, so whatever you invest in that is basically called as capital. Now, drawings. This is exactly, the what owner draws from the business for his personal use is treated as a drawing. So let's see the what book has given the amount of cash or value of goods, asset, etc. withdrawn from the business by the owner for the personal use as a drawing. Example: a proprietor pays college fee of his son or pays for medical expenses, mobile bill, etc. for the from the business. Okay, not for the business. If it is paid for the business, then it is part of the business. But if it is paid for his personal use, then it is called as treated as a drawing, and it is basically a reduction from the capital. So whatever his capitals are there, or business profits are there, which is pertains to him, it will be reduced from it. Now, these are very important terms which you will hear throughout your life. Okay, so pay attention on this one. Debtors, creditors. Even in our day-to-day life, we use this some debtors. A person who has to pay to the business for getting the goods or service on credit is known as a debtor. A debtor is a person who owes the money to the business. Okay, like you purchase something, say a car, and you take it on an installment. So actually, for bank, you are a debtor. Okay, because you take it on a loan. Then if you take a car, buy a car on a loan, then in that case, the for bank you are a debtor, and for you, bank is a creditor. Okay, so simple terms: creditor to whom you have to pay, and debtor from whom you have to receive. So creditor person from whom business has to pay for getting the goods or services. Business has to pay for getting goods or services on credit is known as the creditor. A creditor is a person to whom the business owes money. Suppose you gave any service, okay, to the business you creditor, and your business is a debtor. Understand proper attention, it's very easy to understand. But an irrecoverable amount of from data is known as loss, and irrecoverable amount per data is known as data from whom you have to receive the money is not paying you, or maybe because of in that case it is basically a business, because you are not going to receive the money. You have sold the goods to the debtor, he is not paying you because of may could be any other reason. And that case, you will treat that amount as a bad debt. Now, 1.7.4 expenditure and types of expenditure. The expenditure and amount spent by business for any consideration received by business is called as expenditure. Expenditure and amount spent by the business for any consideration received by business is called expenditure. Okay, the capital expenditure. This expenditure is incurred to acquire fixed asset or to increase the value of fixed asset. So now what is fixed asset is important. Basically, fixed asset, we how can I say, the building is called as a fixed asset. So let's understand the example. Even furniture is called as fixed asset. The asset which is not going to be consumed within 1 year normally, or it can be used for a longer period. It's called a fixed asset, and expenditure for that is called as a capital expenditure. Okay, so the expenditure incurred for acquire fixed asset or to increase the value of fixed. And increase the value of fixed asset is if you prepare your fixed asset, okay, like painting or any construction work, additional construction work done in the fixed asset. That is called as the fixed asset capital expenditure because the benefit of it will be a longer period, normally more than 1 year. Okay, so here they have given the example: purchase of machinery, extension of building, purchase of computer. Revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure is an expenditure from which no future benefit is expected, but having immediate or short-term benefit may be less than 1 year. So it is very clear the benefit will be received by the business is for a short term or lesser than 1 year. Okay, so maybe purchase of goods is called as revenue expenditure, or even any administration expense, salary expense. These are treated as the this one. It does not increase profit earning capacity of an organization. What does it mean? Means it does not increase the profit earning capacity. Means normally you expect a business, let's say, of 10 lakh rupees a month. With this expenditure, you don't expect it to increase by 11 lakh. It will increase only when you do a capital expenditure for a manufacturing plant. If you increase your machinery capacity, then it will increase also the revenue earning capacity. But in this case, it does not increase that capacity. So it's like a rent paid, salary paid, wages. These are the normal day-to-day operating expenses of a business organization happens on the debit side of a trading account or profit and loss account. Clear? Deferred revenue expenditure. An expenditure which is basically a revenue in nature, but benefit of which is not exhausted within 1 year is called deferred revenue expenditure. Let's say deferred revenue expenditure. Such expenditure is written over a number of years. Such return of amount is shown on the debit side of a profit and loss, and unwritten amount is shown on the asset side of the balance sheet. Okay, heavy expenditure on advertisement. Normally, you see, these are the expenditure which is of a capital nature, but this does not increase any fixed asset. Means it does not have a tangible value. Okay, like an advertisement expenditure. Okay, so you paid a heavy advertisement expenditure. Let's check. You take one celebrity, and from celebrity in that advertisement, and which charge you heavily, and you expect that that advertisement, you know, will have a impact not for a year but for many years. In that case, you don't expense it out, means charge it to the P&L or show it total amount as an expense in the profit and loss account for that year. Instead, some portion of that amount you charge it to the P&L. Let's see. I have taken one example for it. Amount spent of 5 lakh on advertisement to introduce a new product in the market, and in estimate that benefit will last 5 years. So 5 lakhs, and you are expect 5 lakhs you have paid for an advertisement, and you expect this 5 lakhs will benefit for 5 years. Then in that case, in that case, you will charge 1 lakh every year on a profit and loss account and balance amount on the asset side of the balance sheet, which is 4 lakh rupees. Hope this example will clarify. Okay. Now, here also heavy legal expenditure if you have already paid, maybe for establishment of company, you pay, heavy legal expenditure and which you expect that the benefit is not for a year, for many years. In that case, you will treat this as a deferred revenue expenditure. Now, cash discount, trade account, very day-to-day, concept. Now we are going to learn. Discount is a concession or allowance given by the seller to a purchaser. Trade discount. It is an allowance given on catalog price or list price of goods. Okay, it's on a catalog price or a list price. This discount is allowed at the time of purchase sale. Value of good purchase sold recorded is net value payable. That is after deduction of amount of trade discount allowed. Net value payable, that is after deduction of amount trade discount is allowed. If goods of 1000 are sold at 5% trade discount, the value of goods that will be recorded will be 950 both by the purchaser and the seller and not 1000. Hence, trade discount does not appear on the books of account. Very clearly, see, trade discount, your price will be appeared net in the book, not the gross. But in cash discount, you have to show it as a gross and you will show cash discount as separately. Okay. Here trade discount you will not show separately. You will directly show the 950 rupees which mentioned. Okay. Cash discount. It is an amount deducted from the final amount due at the time of the receipt. Okay. It is the concession given on encouraging the prompt payment. Okay. It is either for a spot payment or for the payment within a specific period. Okay, so trade cash discount can be, it is over and above the basic price. That means you will book the transaction on 1000, but you will give additional discount. The reason could be prompt payment, like he's ready to pay you immediately, or he's saying that the maybe payment terms is of 90 days, means after purchase the purchaser will pay you after 90 days, but instead of that he came to you and he said I'll pay you immediately, then you also give, or he said instead of 90 days I will pay you 30 days. In that case you give him additional discount, that is called as a cash discount. Cash discount will appear in your books, but trade discount won't. Okay, cash discount is calculated after deducting a trade discount. Since it is a loss to the seller and gain to the buyer, cash appears in the books of account. Okay, now solvent and insolvent. If a person's assets are more than the liability or equal to his liability, he is called as solvent person. Solvent person is financially sound and is in a position to pay off all his debts. Okay, a person's total assets have been calculated 50 lakhs and total debts 30 lakhs. Since his position is sound, he is able to pay off his debt. Therefore, he is called as a solvent. So normally we are all solvent, right? Means and in business even scenario as well, when your assets values are more than your liabilities value, or you are capable to pay all your liabilities, in that case you called as a solvent. Many times we hear that person is declared as insolvent and all this case. So these are the case where he is unable to pay his debts. We know this. uh, I forgot his name. uh, Maybe I'll let you know afterwards. uh, a person whose liabilities are more than the asset is an insolvent person. Such person liabilities are more than his asset. A person total asset or property have been calculated 20 lakhs and his total debt were 50 lakhs. And if he is not in the position to get any amount from any source, and if the court is so satisfied, then he will be declared as insolvent person. Accounting year. It is a period of 12 months for which accounts are maintained and closed by the proprietor. It is a period of 12 months for which accounts are maintained and closed by the proprietor. Earlier, the proprietor were following any accounting year, calendar year, okay, or financial or any other year as per the tradition. But now, as per income tax purpose, an accounting year starts from 1st of April and it's at 31st of March. At the end of accounting year, a proprietor has to prepare a trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet to find out the financial position of the business. See, now, um, this accounting year and financial statement. What financial statement includes is basically three. This one, three statements. One is profit and loss account. Second is balance sheet. And third is cash flow. I haven't seen cash flow for you, so you can restrict yourself to two statement: profit and loss account and balance sheet. So profit and loss account and balance sheet we prepare for 12 months, and 12 months as per the income tax code, it starts from 1st of April. You must have heard that 31st March है, 31st March है. 31st March में क्या होता है, सब बुक्स एंड का डे रहता है वो, तो इस उस टाइम पे सब बुक्स हम क्या करते हैं, क्लोज करते हैं. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में क्या होता है कि स्टॉक टेक किया जाता है, क्योंकि स्टॉक इज बेसिकली काउंटिंग होता है कि अपने पास कितने गुड्स है, क्योंकि वो रिपोर्ट करने पड़ते हैं. तो इसीलिए हम 1st ऑफ अप्रैल से 31st ऑफ मार्च फॉलो करते हैं, विच इज गिवन बाय इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट. ओके, नाउ student activity: collect some advertisement related to discount and stick it in the books. आप ये तो आपको कहाँ पे भी इजीली मिल जाएगा, राइट? बट अंडरस्टैंड इट कंसेप्चुअली. नाउ यू टेल मी, जो डिस्काउंट हमको वो लोग देते हैं, वो कौन सा डिस्काउंट है जो आपको ये मिलता है? ट्रेड डिस्काउंट है, कैश डिस्काउंट है? Think on it and comment. I would like to know. Trading concern and non-profit and not for profit concern. Trading concern, a business concern established with the object of earning the profit by selling goods is known as the trading concern. It is also called as a commercial organization, profit making organization. बहुत से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज इन द वर्ल्ड आर ट्रेडिंग कंसर्न, जहाँ पे क्या हम बिजनेस किसके लिए करते हैं? प्रॉफिट के लिए करते हैं. नॉन प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी है, लाइक स्कूल, हॉस्पिटल, स्पोर्ट क्लब्स, कुछ इसमें प्रॉफिट मेकिंग भी होते हैं. तो उसमें क्या होता है, रहती है वो प्रॉफिट के लिए नहीं होती है. सो बेसिकली इट विल सर्व द सोसाइटी. ओके, प्रॉफिट मोटिव उसमें मेन टारगेट रहता नहीं. नाउ गुडविल described as an aggregate of those intangible attributes of the business which contributes to its superior earning capacity or the normal return on this. It may be the skill of employees, उसकी वजह से हम समझे चार प्रोडक्ट रखे हुए, हम उस प्रोडक्ट पे हम क्या होते हैं, अट्रैक्ट होते हैं. लाइक मोबाइल फोन में है एप्पल, क्यों? हमको पता है उस प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी अदर प्रोडक्ट से अच्छी है, राइट? नाइकी, एडिडास है, वहां पे हम क्या करते हैं, स्केचर्स है, वहां पे हम क्या करते हैं, हमको पता है कि उस प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी दूसरे से अच्छी है. मैगडी का वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट बिजनेस लोकेशन है उनके पास. उनका जो रियल एस्टेट है उसका वैल्यू बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट है, जो हमको नहीं समझ आ. जो लोकेशन है उनके मैगडी के, मैकडोनल्ड के, वो बहुत ही अच्छे लोकेशन है. तो उसके वजह से क्या हो जाता है कि फेवरेबल लोकेशन आपको जहाँ चाहिए वो वहां पे ही प्रॉपर है. तो उसके क्या, उसी वजह से हम वहां पे अट्रैक्ट होते हैं और उसको ट्रीट किया जाता है गुडविल, क्योंकि सेल्स दूसरे का होगा तभी भी वो उतना अर्न नहीं कर पाएगा. द रीजन बिंग सुपीरियर क्वालिटी. वहां पे लिखा हुआ है द फेवरेबल लोकेशन, द एबिलिटी टू स्किल द एम्प्लॉइज एंड मैनेजमेंट, द क्वालिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विस एंड कस्टमर सेटिस्फैक्शन. कस्टमर एप्पल रहो, आपके हर इसके लिए एक एक अलग अलग रहता है. तो आप देख सकते हो. इवन यूट्यूब, आप देखिए, आप यूट्यूब पे कितने हम ये आज का ये लेक्चर आप यूट्यूब पे सुन रहे हैं, उन्होंने कितना ब्रांड वैल्यू किया. कम अदर भी चैनल्स है वहां पे अवेलेबल, लेकिन उन्होंने जो कस्टमर सेटिस्फैक्शन क्रिएट किया है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। गुडविल इज अ रेपुटेशन ऑफ अ बिजनेस एक्सप्रेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी। इट इज एन इंटेंजिबल असेट, टेंजिबल असेट विच कैन बी टच्ड। दो प्रकार के असेट होते हैं, एक टेंजिबल एक इंटेंजिबल। टेंजिबल बिल्डिंग, कार, these are furniture are tangible asset। intangible asset जिसको हम टच बोल सकते हैं नहीं। एप्पल को बिल्डिंग को बोल सकते हैं क्या, क्या ये है क्या है, गुडविल है नहीं। इट्स बेसिकली वो अनसीन क्वालिटी ऑफ द बिजनेस है, राइट। सो इट्स एन इंटेंजिबल असेट। प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, अभी ये when the selling price of the good is more than the cost price, it is a profit। profit increase the capacity, a profit increases the capital of the business। ठीक, वो रिजर्व में जाके बैठता है प्रॉफिट। आपको समझ में आया कि समझो बिजनेस 1 लाख 50,000 रुपया हमने किसी ओनर्स को प्रॉफिट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन और डिविडेंड, तो 50,000 है वो कैपिटल में ऐड हो जाएगा, बिकॉज दैट होल प्रॉफिट 1 लाख रुपीज पर्टेन्स टू द ओनर। उसमें से ओनली 50,000 रुपीज उन्होंने विड्रॉ किया है। ओके, इफ गुड्स आर सोल्ड फॉर 50,000, ऑल एक्सपेंसेस ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड अमाउंट ऑफ 30,000, देन द प्रॉफिट इज 20,000। नाउ गुडविल के केस के लिए मैंने ये एग्जांपल आपके डाले, अमेजॉन, यूट्यूब, फेसबुक, वीजा जो क्रेडिट कार्ड डेबिट कार्ड रहते हैं, गूगल, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, नेटफ्लिक्स, एप्पल, राइट। दीज आर ऑल गुडविल ब्रांड वैल्यूज क्रिएट, और कुछ इनके वैल्यूएशन बिलियंस में है। ओके, नाउ लॉस, व्हेन द कॉस्ट price of the good is more than the selling price of the price, is a loss। loss decreases the capital of the business। okay, if goods are sold for 50,000, all expense during the period amounted to 60,000, then the loss is 10,000। very clear, right? Income, it is a revenue arising as a result of business transaction। it is the amount received or realized from the service provided and earned from the interest, dividend, commission। okay, bank के लिए basically service provided and earning from the interest, dividend, commission। revenue, income that business has from its normal business activity। okay, usually from the sale of good and services to the customer। revenue इसमें भी बैंक के लिए भी ये revenue हो जाएगा। okay, asset, liabilities and net worth। asset, any physical thing और राइट ओन्ड। ओके, ये फिजिकल हो गया, टेंजिबल है, इंटेंजिबल हो गया। राइट ओन्ड दैट हैज अ मॉनेटरी वैल्यू is called as an asset। the ownership on of the asset must be with the business unit, that is the land, goodwill, patent, computer, etc। type of asset, fixed asset or non-current asset। the asset which gives long-term benefit to the business are known as the fixed asset। land, building, plant, machinery, goodwill, these assets may be tangible, intangible। जो हमने अभी देखा, tangible बिल्डिंग आएगा, intangible हमने बोला गुडविल देगा। current asset, asset which are held in the business for a operating year and can be converted to cash easily are called as current asset। see the difference between fixed asset और current asset में ये ही है कि fixed asset longer term के लिए होता है, current asset ये नॉर्मली ऑपरेटिंग ईयर के लिए रहता है। करंट असेट में आएगा, फर्स्ट आएगा कैश, कैश और बैंक बैलेंस। ओके, बाद में आएगा बिजनेस के स्टॉक्स, कुछ एडवांसेस गिवन। ये नॉर्मली विद इन द 1 ईयर क्या हो जाते हैं, मैच्योर्ड हो जाते हैं, और वो इजी टू यूज अगेन द बिजनेस। फिक्स एसेट के बारे में वैसा नहीं रहता। फिक्स एसेट आपको उसका वैल्यू आपको ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम मिल जाता है। एक हजार फिक्स एसेट आपने ले लिया, बिल्डिंग, उसका बेनिफिट आपको 1 साल के मिले नहीं, बिल्डिंग आपको 10 साल, 15 साल, 20 साल के लिए चल सकता है, राइट। नाउ फिक्टिशियस एसेट, और इसके एग्जांपल देखेंगे, सॉरी, करंट एसेट के। तो डेटर्स, बिल्स रिसीवेबल, कैश इन हैंड, कैश एट बैंक। ओके, fictitious, these assets are not presented by the tangible possession or the property। these are imaginary asset but do not have any realizable value। deferred revenue expenditure like advertisement paid for 4 years। getting the difference between goodwill and fictitious asset। ये भी intangible nature है, ये भी intangible नेचर है दोनों। लेकिन फिक्टिशियस एसेट में आपको कुछ आगे जाके उसका ये नहीं है, डू नॉट हैव एनी रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू। लेकिन गुडविल के लिए रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू है, यू कैन सेल योर ब्रांड। ओके, बहुत से कार कि डिजाइन होते हैं वो सेल किए जाते हैं, दैट हैज अ रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू, यू कैन सेल योर कार डिजाइन। जस्ट एन एग्जांपल आई एम टेलिंग यू कि एक कार का डिजाइन विच इज अ गुडविल फॉर दैट कंपनी, राइट, कि उसके लिए वो एक असेट है, वो क्या कर सकता है, वो बेच सकता है, उसका वैल्यू आ सकता है, लेकिन इन केस ऑफ फिक्टिशियस असेट यू कैनॉट सेल इट। ओके, liability, amount payable by the business to other is known as liability. It is the debt or amount due from the business to others for the benefit received from by the business unit, loan taken, creditor, bank overdraft, outstanding expenses। okay, easy है कि जिसे आपको अपने कौन से बैंक से लोन लिया है, that will be a liability। okay, आपने किसी से पैसे लिए, that will be liability। okay, types of liability, fixed liability and current liability, similarly जैसे ऊपर है फिक्स एसेट एंड करंट एसेट, वैसे इसमें भी बाइफरकेशन है। फिक्स लाइबिलिटी, वन ऑफ द मेजर सोर्स ऑफ फंड इन द बिजनेस इज अ फिक्स लाइबिलिटी। इट इज द इट मे बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कैपिटल, सिक्योर्ड लोन, लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स फ्रॉम द बैंक्स एंड फ्रॉम द फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन। जब आप बिजनेस चलाने के लिए आप खुद के भी पैसे डालते हो और बाहर से भी पैसे लेते हो, इट्स वेरी नॉर्मल, राइट, कि मुझे बिजनेस चलाने के लिए समझो 50 लाख रुपए चाहिए, तो मैं 30 लाख रुपए मेरे खुद के डालता हूँ, 20 लाख रुपए बैंक को लोन होता हूँ। और उसको फिक्स लाइबिलिटी इसीलिए कहा जाता है क्योंकि वो आप एक साल में, if it is how to pay it within 1 year, it will be called as current liability। ओके, जो भी एक साल के बीच में है उसको बोलते हैं करंट लाइबिलिटी। शॉर्ट टर्म लाइबिलिटी पेबल विद इन 1 year आर कॉल्ड करंट लाइबिलिटीज। करंट लाइबिलिटीज arise in the regular current operation, in the regular current operation of the business, these liabilities are not normally secured, creditors, bills payable। okay, these are not normally secured। now देखिए ये secured liability है, जब आप बैंक से कोई सा भी लोन लेते हो, you have to give something as a pledge, like you give maybe your asset or some your uh, FDs, you give as a security। in case of current liabilities, जब आप कुछ परचेस करते हो आपके वेंडर से, तो यू डोंट गिव देम एनी, नॉर्मली यू डोंट गिव देम एनी लाइबिलिटी। बहुत से, आई टेल यू, बहुत सी बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां हैं यहाँ पे, ये लिया जाता है कुछ एज अ सिक्योरिटी, लेकिन इनके लिए क्या होता है, जो नॉर्मल ट्रेडर्स रहते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द परचेसेस आर विदाउट सिक्योरिटी। so creditors, bill payable, net worth or owner's equity or capital, the amount or fund provided by the proprietor in the business is called capital, as well as the excess of asset over the liability for the business is also called as capital or net worth। okay, net worth is basically asset pay, whatever contribution owners has contributed minus liabilities, okay, is called as net worth। Net worth includes capital plus reserve, capital can be in the form of cash or in kind। okay, तो क्या क्या है net worth, owners equity, net worth is equal to owners equity is equal to capital, owners equity is equal to total equity minus creditors liability। okay, जो भी आपके ओनर का जो इक्विटी है उसमें से जो भी क्रेडिट लाइबिलिटी है, क्रेडिटर्स लाइबिलिटी है, वो माइनस करने के बाद जो भी आता है, ये आता है। नाउ रिजर्व्स, रिजर्व्स के लिए मैं थोड़ा आपको क्या एक एक्सप्लेनेशन दा। द रिजर्व क्रिएटेड बाय द रिटेंशन ऑफ the of the share of the net profit of the year are known as the revenue reserve। देखिए आपके पास समझो प्रॉफिट हुआ बिजनेस पर 10 लाख रुपया, 5 लाख अपने डिविडेंड करके, नहीं तो 5 लाख अपने ओनर्स को दे दिए, तो जो 5 लाख रुपए रहेंगे वो बिजनेस में रहेंगे और दिस विल बी कॉल्ड एज अ रेवेन्यू रिजर्व एंड इट विल बी एडेड इन द कैपिटल। ओके, इट इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ कैपिटल। now capital reserve, the reserve created out of the profit of the capital nature is known as the capital। out of the capital nature, आपने एक आधा फिक्स असेट कौन सा तो भी बेचा है और उसकी वजह से आपको कुछ ये हुआ है, क्या हुआ है, लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए जो हुआ बेनिफिट हुआ है, दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज अ कैपिटल, दिस वन कैपिटल नेचर। ओके, आई एम सॉरी दैट कुड नॉट बी, फिक्स असेट का एग्जांपल बराबर नहीं रहेगा। लॉन्ग टर्म यहाँ पे उन्होंने लिखा है, इट कुड बी shares of long term nature, it should be this one, not the revenue, क्योंकि sale of the fixed asset मुझे नहीं पता, I will get the explanation for this। If the capital of the business is 4 lakh rupees and the creditors 2 lakh rupees, if the capital is 4 lakh rupees and the creditor 2 lakh rupees, then the total equity, okay, total equity asset is equal to 6 lakh rupees. Okay, so 2 lakhs to 4 lakh. So बेसिकली आपका बिजनेस चलाने के लिए आपको कितना फंड लग रहा है? 6 लाख रुपया। उसमें 4 लाख आपके, 2 लाख रुपए अपने क्रेडिटर्स लिए, टोटल असेट। और 1,50,000 कैपिटल इज 1 lakh rupees, then the creditor's equity will be 50,000 rupees basically। जो आपके असेट है माइनस अपने कैपिटल क्या, 50,000 pertains to, if the total asset of the business are 5 lakh and outside liabilities are 2 lakh, if the total asset of the business are 5 lakh and outside liabilities 2 lakh, then the owner's equity will be 3 lakh rupees। okay, आपने 5 लाख रुपए के एसेट है आपके टोटल, आपको पता है आउटसाइड लाइबिलिटी 2 लाख का है, बोलो तो 3 लाख रुपए किसके बाकी के हो गए, और इक्विटी वाले के हो गए। नाउ contingent liability, a liability that may arise in the future, depends on happening or non-happening of a certain event, is called as a contingent liability। That means you are not sure about it। एखादा कोर्ट केस चालू है, right, contingent है, you are not sure whether it will be, whether result will be favorable or unfavorable। मे बी कुछ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम रिलेटेड है, कुछ कंपनी के अगेंस्ट डाला हो, यू आर नॉट श्योर कि वो फेवरेबल जाएगा अपने अगेंस्ट, अपने फेवर में जाएगा या अगेंस्ट जाएगा। इन दैट केस इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ contingent liability। as it is not confirmed or perfect liability, it is called, it does not affect the financial position of the business, and therefore it is not shown in the liability side of the balance sheet, because you need to be sure whatever you are mentioning in the balance sheet, you should be 100% sure it should have value, but it is shown as the way of a footnote to the balance sheet in a simple sheet, simply as information। okay, दिखाना पड़ता है, लेकिन it will be footnote। now why it is required? कुछ इस लाइबिलिटी का आगे जाके I'll tell you, इन्वेस्टर्स मतलब उनको समझ में आता है कि बाबा इसका कुछ तो भी आगे जाके इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा। सी आई टेल यू, स्मॉल लाइबिलिटी रहेगा तो बात अलग है। तो इसका VW का इमिशन स्कैम हुआ था and liability was very very heavy। I tell you 2016 और 17 में liability was very very heavy। in that case क्या हो जाता है, वो इंफॉर्मेशन होना है किसको भी, इन्वेस्टर को, इज important when you buy that company, okay, or invest in that company। a worker makes a claim for compensation of 5,000 against the business and the decision is pending in the court। a worker makes a claim of again compensation 5,000 against the business and the decision is pending in the court, it may be a future liability for the business on happening of the event, court verdict। So I think now let's stop here। I've covered chapter 1.7 completely। आपके कुछ क्वेश्चन रहेंगे, आपको कुछ explanation additional चाहिए तो please mention in the comment। till then, bye bye।